Good afternoon from the plaza. This is Murcia Public Market. Right, so I'm actually sat in the plaza. I've left you a bit of the commotion on so you can listen real live. So I'm actually sat in the plaza and I'm doing a few short videos, and there are about 5 or 6 ladies, girls walking down the plaza, and I heard this bang, and then the girls went, "Oh," and they all turned round and they run up to the top of the plaza. So I thought, oh, I'll go and have a look what's happened. Maybe it's a motorbike accident. Yeah, there's that many motorbike accidents actually. It's an everyday occurrence in Murcia, according to a lot of the locals. Right, so I walked up to the top of the plaza, and there it was. This is the scene. So this is what's going off actually. So I don't know why it's gone to slow motion. So it looks like I've gone to slow motion somehow. So I thought, well, what's going off? What's happening here? And I put my helmet down and my bag down, and I actually started to look and watch. And by the looks on it, I actually saw a motorbike in the road, and I saw a four-wheel drive pulled up at the side. Just further on, you'll see the four-wheel drive. The four-wheel drive is actually away from the motorbike. So I only actually saw one motorbike, but it's two motorbikes. So this accident is a two motorbike accident. So I thought, it's got to be that four-wheel drive there what's knocked that guy off his motorbike. Because see the four-wheel drive there on the right-hand side? That's what's caused the accident, according to witnesses. I didn't see the accident, so I don't really know the full story. So that's the four-wheel drive, as far as I'm aware. So what's happened? That's one of the motorbikes in the road there. And there's another one somewhere, but with all this commotion, I can't actually see. And, I know this because Joveline actually this is where Joveline were actually shopping for a little rice. And she went to the fish market for some fish. And you can see everyone going past looking what's happened. Now you've got the traffic enforcers, the traffic police, there's the traffic police and traffic enforcers. Yes, sir, reversing and block my view. So I'm going to have to move. So that four-wheel drive, as far as I know, is driving down the road, and there's two motorbikes in front of the four-wheel drive. Now, as far as I know, there's quite a little bit of a gap in between these two motorbikes, and if I've got this correctly, like I said, I wasn't there, the four-wheel drive has actually tried to go in between these motorbikes. And I do find this as a motorbike rider here in Murcia, all over the Philippines actually. I do actually find, not all over, but the places I've actually been, most of the places, I actually find most of the people in a four-wheel drive do not give any respect whatsoever. Most. You do get some good four-wheel drivers, but most do not give you any respect whatsoever. And they're very, very dangerous around motorbikes. They'll pull in front of you. You'll be doing 60 kilometres an hour. They'll come past you doing about 90, 100 kilometres an hour. And they don't give you a wide berth. They'll cut straight in front of you. And you think, you stupid. But yeah, you've got it. And a lot of these four-wheel drive drivers and car drivers, it's a drinking culture here. Work it out, guys. It's a drunk culture here. But like I said, there's a lot of good four-wheel drivers, a lot of good car drivers, and there's a lot of good motorbike riders here in the Philippines. And for every good motorbike rider, car driver, four-wheel driver rider, there's also about 20,000 bad ones. So, can be very dangerous. And I don't think a lot of these guys have ever taken a test. And that's what makes it so dangerous. They don't know what they're doing wrong. And the roads here are not marked out, but they don't really need to be marked out, just a little bit of common sense. And like I said, there's a lot of good, careful drivers around, but like I said, it can be very dangerous riding motorbikes here in the Philippines. Anyway, so I'm stood here, and you could hear all the commotion on the first clip. I thought I'd leave it on. So, like I said, mostly these traffic enforcers do a very good job, and they don't let you get away with things. If you do something wrong in England, you're off your motorbike or you're out of your car, you've got a ticket, you've got a fine. But here in the Philippines, they're a lot better. Because if you do something wrong here in the Philippines, the traffic enforcer will say, move, sir, please move your vehicle. You don't get a fine, you don't get a ticket, and you just move on. And, it's a lot better. It's how things used to be. In England, it's like, it's just got so damn crazy. If you spit on the road in England, I'm sure sooner or later they're going to start shooting you. But it's not like that here in the Philippines. If you did something wrong, they just tell you, you can't park there, sir, please move. And you move on, and things is just, it's overall better, and it's how things used to be in England. So, I don't know what happened to the motorbike rider. It's probably okay, there were two on him. So, by the sounds of it, it's the four-wheel drive that's at fault. Like I said, guys, you're in a four-wheel drive. You have to give respect to motorbike riders. And I do know there's quite a lot of bad motorbike riders. Because even when I'm riding down the road, I'll get an odd fool on a motorbike, and he'll just cut straight in front of you. No respect, very, very dangerous riding, and you've got it. So like I said, be very careful. But here in Murcia Town, it's not so bad really if you get knocked off your bike. If it's not a high speed, that's not so bad. If it's not high speed, yeah, you can still be hurt very bad. And if you've got kids on your motorbike, it's not a very good nice outcome. Anyway, so another traffic cop pulls up and his motorbike's at the side of me there somewhere. It's a CRF. They use CRF 150s. They also, in Don Salvador, they use the Kawasaki 650. So they use super sports. So they are using super sports, motorbikes here in the Philippines as well. And, if they want to get anywhere very, very fast, that gets them there very, very fast. So they do use quite a few different bikes in the cities, but normally in the towns, it's normally 150s. Can be a Kawasaki or a CRF, Honda, very good bikes. Right, so I'm just stood here and Joveline comes up and she goes, there's a crash. I said, yeah, motorbike across the road. And she's shopping. And, she did hear what a lot of the people are saying, and I can't understand a word what anyone's saying, so I don't know what happened, and I don't know what's being said. So, basically, that's it, guys, And actually, I went into the plaza after this, back into the plaza, waiting for Joveline, and funnily enough, I was actually thinking about this the day before, and I was going to do a video about the topic I'm going to chat about in a moment. And I just didn't bother to do the topic. So, I'm going to chat about it right about now. What happened was, I'll cut this story a little short. Here he is, look, is our famous cleaner. Our famous strongman here in the plaza is in orange as per normal. Right, so where do I begin? Well, a long, long time ago, before I actually ever came to the Philippines, I'll cut this really, really short. I used to chat to a girl, very, very nice girl, and to cut it short from a long, long way away, like I said, beautiful young girl, very nice. I used to chat to her I could chat to her for 24 hours, 18 hours, and I could chat to her about a piece of paper. You could have a piece of paper there, and I could sit and chat, we could both sit and chat about a plain piece of paper for 10 or 12 hours. And some people can't even chat about a topic for a couple of minutes. And, we went on and off. She disappeared for quite a while, then she'd come back on. Then she disappeared, and I'd be chatting to other people, and one day she disappeared for a long time, and I was wondering where she disappeared to. And I thought, well, where is she? And that's the traffic cop's bike, police officer's bike, not just traffic. So what happened was she came online. It was late at night for me, about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I used to be online all day and all night, years and years ago. And she started to chat to me. Looks like my thumb or my finger. I don't know. It's the commotion. So, what happened? She says to me, I says, she sent me a picture and she weren't looking too well. And I says, are you okay? Not one thing and another. And she says, no, my illness has come back. And I says, oh. And she didn't have any money at all. And what made me feel really bad is I didn't have any money either. And I felt really bad about this. And, all because for money she couldn't get any medication. And I still think about it now. And, what happened, she says my illness has come back. Now, I'll tell you a little about her illness, but I won't tell you too much, because it's a long, long story. What she said to me, what happened is, when I first got to know her, and she told me, she used to go to college, and she was a very, very popular, lovely young lady, very, very popular girl, absolutely beautiful girl. And, she had lots and lots of friends at college. Right guys, so there's no music here in the plaza. I don't hear any, so we're very, very lucky. And there's been a motorbike crash, as you've seen. Don't know what happened. I saw him pushing the motorbike down. Well, I think a four-wheel drive's. There were a four-wheel drive there, that's gone. And then there were a motorbike laid out. So maybe the four-wheel drive has got something to do with the motorbike. I don't know. But I actually saw they were pushing the motorbike down this way. Now, if you actually go down this way, down past the side of the plaza, past the cafes, that's where all the motorbikes go here in Murcia when there's an accident. And believe me, every day there's a motorcycle or a motorbike accident here in Murcia. So, it can be quite... Well, I don't know, there's just always a motorbike accident. Not so bad in town. The bad ones are on the main road. Now, when they're speeding, and they're really speeding, no helmet on, kids on back, and then they have an accident, can be a bit fatal, to be honest. So, I hope everyone's fine and doing well. Have a great day here in Murcia Plaza. Right, that's me chatting in the plaza. Just a moment. Right, so that's me chatting in the plaza. Right, so what happened was she were at college, and she had a lot of friends, very, very popular girl, really nice girl. And what happened was she came out of college, and you know, we're friends, and they run across the road and a car hit her. So she got hit by a car, knocked over the bonnet of the car, and she got bad, severe head injuries. Rushed to hospital, and she were in hospital. And she said to me, thing was, when I were in hospital, you know, I had lots and lots of friends at college, and ever guess what? No one, not one of her friends, only one, so not one of her friends came to visit her in hospital. So, anyway, let me move on. Right, so you can, you know, she had a, that's what happened to her. That were her head injury. Right, motorbike, that's one of the traffic cops, and he's going into the plaza. Now, I don't know what he's doing, and I'm tipping when I see him, you're not allowed to come in the plaza now on your motorbike. They shut the middle gate, and they stop people coming into the plaza with the motorbike. So it looks to me like he's escorting this guy out, because you're not allowed in the plaza now, so he's moving this guy off. So this guy's, is either moving him off and telling him to move out of the plaza. He's not allowed in the plaza on his motorbike. You know, park your motorbike up here somewhere further down and walk into the plaza. And that's what he's doing, he's actually moving on. So, I'm going to chat about a topic. I'm not going to have enough time on this video to do it. So, I'll do it separately. But you did hear a clip when I was in the plaza. Now, I'm going to chat about murders here in the Philippines. Right, guys. It's not picking light up this camera very well, but later I'm going to chart. They've just found a dead body in Bacolod City, and it's on a rubbish dump. I'm actually looking on Jovaline's phone, and it's got tape. It's got tape around the face, and I'll chat about that later. Murder here in Bacolod, murders in Manila, so I will actually chat about that. So, you know, can't hear any music, so I should be okay to start with this video. So, you'll hear some of the original clips, but I will actually chat on a separate video about some of the murders here from now and long way back.